All right, let's stream it up today, guys. Today is April 14th, 2024, coming at you for our live stream to talk about a bunch of different things, a little bit of Walking Dead Universe stuff, some filming news for Dead City, and some news potentially about Daryl Dixon, and of course some other shows and movies that we're watching, you're watching, anything else. You're watching The Masters. Did you watch UFC 300 last night? Let's talk about it in the chat. Put out that general spoiler warning, but if you don't know about spoilers for The Ones Who Live and other stuff like that, then you're behind. But ultimately, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound and you're doing well. I'm doing well on this Sunday, April 14th, 2024. So let's talk about a couple things. So first and foremost, I want to say that I appreciate you guys. Now, it feels like The Walking Dead. I was thinking about this the other day, and it feels like The Walking Dead is that video game that is open world, and you finish the story like it's Grand Theft Auto or Spider-Man or something, where you go along with the story, and then it finishes, and then it's like, what else is there to do after you finish the story? Side quests, kind of get the little things here to get your 100%, accolades and all that, but it's like there. It feels like the Walking Dead main show was the ending. The Ones Who Live is like the DLC extra content. And there, so the comic is the focal point, the source material, everything there for the Walking Dead universe. And that's done. That's been done for years. They've covered that on the show. This is the uncharted territory. This is the uncharted story. This is the stuff that is made by Gimple and whoever else the powers that be. And you didn't have to rush The Ones Who Live ending. Like, you didn't have to have that. But they decided to do that because it's a limited series. I don't know how much Denai and Andy want to be part of the Walking Dead universe anymore. And it's all those things that are like, you could have had a couple more seasons of this show. You didn't have to just abruptly end it. You could have had things to build. It just feels like that was Rick and Michonne's ending. Now, could we see Rick and Michonne again? Possibly. So the latest show that is filming is Dead City Season 2. There's a lot of photos of filming, a lot of photos of, Negan and Maggie. They're with fans. They're, being interactive in Massachusetts. And, so I don't know. I don't know how that is going to connect. Why was there such a big time jump away from things? I don't know. It just seems like an outlier show. Now, it's much better than Fear the Walking Dead. A much better thought of any of the other spinoffs. But it just feels like it's like, oh, we'll give you a little taste of the Walking Dead universe still. Don't forget about it, because here's still Negan and Maggie. The Daryl show is done season 2 filming. Post-production should be out this summer. And the word is that Norman Reedus said to a fan or something or this, or he said that, she said that, they heard that this is happening. All these different things, all these speculation is that season 3 of the Daryl Dixon show will be filming this June in Spain. So we'll have to see what happens there. James, hey man, what was your opinion of WrestleMania? I thought it was awesome. Also, what are you more excited for, a Daryl show or Dead City? I thought WrestleMania was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad it ended the way it did. And I am probably not going to care much about wrestling until SummerSlam later this year. But I'm glad it was, got to see the stuff with Cody and everything with The Rock and everything. It was pretty great. Am I more excited for the Daryl show or Dead City? Probably the Daryl show, because the Dead City show is just filler to me. Like, I like Negan, the Maggie stuff with Herschel, great. I don't need to worry about that. The Negan Maggie stuff is just forced, and Negan it should be like just the Negan show. Like, we don't even need Maggie and Herschel and all that junk. We need Negan, the Dama, Croat, Kim Coates, this, like, it should just be Negan's show. I like Lauren Cohan, don't get me wrong, but I don't need the whole interaction with her, with Maggie and Negan. It just seems like nonsense. The Dead City stuff, I'm excited to see what happens in season 2 because Daryl and Carol working together. Always good to have them two working together. Always cool to see all the cast members coming back together, hopefully at some point. But, you know, so the big thing, like Harder Nixie says, so there's been a lot of talk about Daryl going to Europe and finding Rick's brother. And Rick's brother has never been mentioned on any of the shows, any of the spinoffs, any of the series, anything ever besides one little comic. And the fact that Norman Reedus said that they're going to film in Spain has a lot of people speculating that Rick's brother is going to be in Spain. That would be grasping at straws. That would be filler. That would be nonsense. That would be just dumb, in my opinion. So I don't need to see that. If it happens, okay. If it doesn't, okay. I don't really care. Like right now, I'm at like the end of the Walking Dead universe stuff. Like I'll watch it. Dead City, I'll watch it. Daryl Dixon, I'm actually excited for. The Ones Who Live, very excited for. But it's over. Like, they had a beginning, a middle, an end. It answered some questions. They're not going to go into it much longer. They're not going to look into it much more unless they do. Now, we'll have to see if they have any other news coming up later this year, Comic-Con in July, all that stuff. But there's all this speculation and all this nonsense on other channels about Morgan's coming here and this was happening here and this is confirmed and that's there too. You know, and it's just laughable, but people are going to do that. And you know, I'm still going to talk about stuff, but ultimately I'm going to be taking a break from making videos and going to be doing stuff here and there. Unless we'll be making other videos, other topics, other shows, other, you know, motivational videos and inspirational videos and exercise stuff and nutrition stuff and whatever. We'll be talking about other shows. So we're watching other shows. We just started Fallout on Amazon. I've never played the video game, so I don't know if it's good or bad. But the video or the first episode we saw, it was pretty good. But it was also some things didn't make sense. But it's a video game, so we have to suspend, you know, ability and you know reality and fiction or whatever, science fiction. So, but it has me interested for sure. So Fallout. We finished Loudermilk. That ending was pretty lackluster, but I didn't know if there was supposed to be more seasons and it just ends in the third season. But I hate when shows do that. I hate when shows have seasons and then they just end. You're like, no resolution, no conclusion, no satisfying ending. What else are we watching? Well, I love My Little People, Big World and Seven Little Johnstons. Watch that. Not really watching too much other stuff. We watched the UFC 300 prelims last night. That was awesome. All the fights were good. I mean, some of them weren't as good as others, but some fights were better than others. And then we watched it. You know, I saw a couple clips of the actual fights, like the BMF title with Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. Man, that finish was crazy. That's one that'll probably never happen again like that too, because it just was like perfect. It was a perfect ending, crazy. You know, not for Justin Gaethje, but you know, it was an awesome event, and you know, some of the fights were pretty cool too, especially you know, even on the undercard, amazing. Yeah, John, I watched WrestleMania. I really watched all of WrestleMania night 2. Like I was watching it, and then I just was like, okay, we'll watch it a little bit, and before I knew it, I'm getting ready for the final match. And, well, yeah, I thought Cody would win last year, but it was too quick. So then he had to build up his nonsense with Brock Lesnar and all this crap and whatever. But they did this stuff. Like, it's quintessential writing that the winner of the main event, the big pay-per-views, are going to get their butt kicked on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, the smaller stuff. And then when it comes to the WrestleMania moment or SummerSlam moment or whatever things, usually the victor would be the bigger story, like Cody, like, you know, all that stuff. But it was really good. You know, it was a good, and I'm glad that it happened the way it happened. And, I called it that John Cena would come out because of his connection with The Rock. It was pretty awesome with Undertaker. And I know some people wanted to see Stone Cold. I would have loved to have seen Stone Cold as well. But it just worked with The Undertaker and The Rock, how it went down. But it was just awesome. It just felt like a good moment. Even though it was scripted and it was this and it was that, it just felt, good for Cody Rhodes. I don't know what Heart of Nixie's talking about, but okay. So, I mean, the big thing is, like, we're going to just be getting our minds together, getting our stuff together, being, so I work 40 hours a week as a physical therapist. I'm a clinic director of a clinic in Florida, and that's kind of crazy. And then have to come home, get some downtime, and there's not really much to talk about right now with The Walking Dead, so it'll be a nice little break. Hopefully I get some information about, it would be really cool to see, like right now, when you see the photos of filming for Dead City, it's just Negan and Maggie and some extras and some horses and some marina boat thing, or whatever. It's like, it's nothing, and they have, like, they're expanding on the bricks. But, like, why is it the bricks? Like, why is it not Hilltop? Like, what happened with that? Like, again, it just seems forced. Like, the Maggie Negan show just seems really forced. And it works because Negan and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is great. And it works because of the Croat, the Dama, the stuff. And when you bring back Simon for an episode, it works. When you bring back Father Gabriel for a moment, it works. When you bring back characters from the Walking Dead universe, it just works. Like, it just is stuff that we want to see over and over again, right? So if we can have some things, and now that the CRM is basically done, what's going to be the future of that? What's going to be the future of things? Because it just feels like it's over, but it's not. So it's just annoying when you have stuff that's going and going and going. It's like that bad relationship that you're in or your friend's in, that you're just there because it's there and you're familiar with it. And then it just doesn't make sense that it's still going on. And then looking back at it, you're like, wow, that was a big waste of time. And why am I doing this? And I hope that Walking Dead makes big steps in the right direction to continue it or just end it. Like, finish it up, wrap it up, So, like Heart of Nixie keeps talking about Rick's brother. But if they bring him around, cool. We have the Alien comic. We can talk about that. But the fact that they never mentioned it whatsoever in anything, it's just, I don't know. And again, it's like they could bring that around, and when people watch, maybe would it make sense? Maybe would it do anything for the stuff? Not really, because the big thing is we need a villain. You need problems. Like, you can have good characters and wits, but what's the problem? What are the things that people are trying to do? What are you working on? What is the problem that you need to solve? Right? Well, everybody's in a pretty good spot unless Daryl brings problems from Europe, because Rick and Michonne really ended the CRM stuff, which is kind of ridiculous, but either way, it did what it did. And now the only person that's left out there, or I guess it could be Negan, brings problems, or Maggie even, brings problems from them, because those are the only two shows left on, unless we get other shows and spinoffs in there too. But if Daryl brings conflict from the people that are in Europe, that could work. But you'd have to bring people there. I think Daryl wants to be filming in Europe because of his fiance and whatever. Like, I think, like, it works because it's Daryl, and the show writing was pretty good. And I think Daryl is highly motivated to do a good show and a good thing. Or Norman. But I just don't know where it kind of connects with the story of stuff. And maybe it connects, maybe it doesn't. But I don't know. I'm not trying to figure stuff out anymore. And I'm not trying to figure out anything for it. James, no, I haven't seen the trailer for the new Joker movie, but I'm sure it's going to be great. The first movie was really good, and now that we have, Harley Quinn, who's Lady Gaga, which should be good, and Joaquin Phoenix is a great Joker, so I think it's going to be good. But I'm excited for a Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm excited for that. That's something that I think I may possibly go see that movie in the movie theater, or just wait. I don't know, but it looks really good. We're also watching X-Men '97. Man, that is just great. Every episode is great. Like, they're doing a great job every time I watch an episode of X-Men '97. It just like works on so many levels. I don't know if anybody, if you didn't watch the X-Men growing up, you know, what did you like? Did anybody not watch X-Men, the cartoon, the first part in the 90s, and you're watching X-Men '97? Because it works for me because it's a good show, but also because of the connections from the original series. And I'm an X-Men fan. Like, that's my favorite superheroes. Like, all this Iron Man stuff and Captain America and Thor and all that nonsense, I didn't care about any of that crap until it was the MCU brought it to the mainstream. Like Tony Stark and all that, and worked with Robert Downey Jr. And it actually makes sense because he would be more of a realistic kind of entrepreneur, really smart guy with money kind of a thing there too. When you're talking about like powers and all this stuff, like, it gets kind of crazy. But the X-Men, it always just worked because of the human element, humans versus mutants versus them trying to work together, and then the Sentinels trying to take them out. Like, it just works on so many levels, and now this continuing that with the X-Men that we know and love, plus Magneto and everything. It just works really well over and over and over again. Every episode has been great too. So I like, and I hope they do some stuff and they bring back other cartoons from the 90s. Like, there was this Spider-Man cartoon that was really good. And I remember watching that, and it just was another great cartoon that they put a lot of time, energy, effort, and focus on too. So it was just, I think it just worked. Hopefully if they continue anything like that as well. But, you know, ultimately the Walking Dead universe is something that we know about, love, cherish, everything. And it's great that there's still a community for it. And I don't need it to continue just to continue. You know, you have to move on with things in your life. And you can always look back or go back and watch stuff. And Street Sharks. There was a cartoon called like Reboot. I remember watching that. If they did something like that, you know, just if they have the older 90s cartoons that weren't really good because of the CGI and the effects back then, but nowadays things are so much better too. So I have not watched that Phantom Deluxe. But the Walking Dead universe is like, you know, what brings us together. And then there's a lot of just other stuff that can, you know, be the common ground as well too, you know. I just love the idea of community and working together. And we're not always going to see eye to eye, you know. Like, I like the show for a different reason. I have my views and my ideas and opinions and everything too, and so do you. And they're always welcome and they're always there. You know, sometimes you'll probably disagree with mine. Like I don't know how many people here and whoever watched the videos like agree with my red theory, but man, the ones who live, that to me solidified the red theory more than anything out there in the Walking Dead universe. And if you go back and you watch it over, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back and watch The Walking Dead again from start to finish, but there's a lot of connecting moments, you know, with the red. And it just works on symbolic nature, warning, danger, just foreshadowing, just like it just works for me and a lot of people. And of course, it's a theory. Like, it doesn't have 100% accuracy, but what does? You know? Like, a lot of things out there don't have it, but it just works on so many levels. And it's okay if you disagree with it on there too. But, you know, I would always kind of want to know why. You know? If it connects and works 75% of the time, and a lot of things, that's passing. That works. It's sound. You know, and it's definitely something that I just thought it was kind of cool too. So I don't know. I don't know what other YouTubers think about it on there too. Like, I don't know what other people make YouTube videos for. Is it views? Is it clicks? Is it clickbait? Is it trickbait? Is it have a nice thumbnail with good Photoshop of acting like a thing, and they do this and they portray it as a way to make you, view and watch? And that's ultimately what they do. They want you to watch it. They want you to click on it. They want you to do it no matter if it's right or wrong. Like, they don't care if you watch it, hate on it, like it, or love it. They just want you to click on it too. And I get it. I know why people do it, but it just, to me, is like, I can't trust people like that. I don't want to work with people like that. I don't want to watch people's like that. I don't watch videos. I don't want people around me like that. I don't want to watch videos that are just trying to, I don't know. And maybe it's just the way it is, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that's just not me, and it just doesn't make no sense too. So Brady says, do you think we actually going to get Rick's brother? I don't know. Like, they could, with the whole thing with, I really wish that Norman Reedus, supposedly, I didn't see the article or watch anything that heard Norman Reedus actually say that they were going to be filming in Spain this June. But now that's going to fuel the speculation even more. Like, it was people who know about the Alien, the one comic, that it's just like the comic, like Rick's brother means nothing to us at all, unless it does. Like, now it would really be soap opera-ish. It already is very soap opera-ish, the Walking Dead universe. But what if they do go the Rick's brother route, right? And I'm not saying they won't. Just to be clear, it's probably like 50-50 that they do or they don't. But the fact of it is if they go this route and they bring around Rick's brother, Jeff Grimes or whatever his name is, I believe, will he be a villain? Will he not like Rick? Because, like, that would be a nice little twist. Because then that would build things up a little bit, that he doesn't want anything to do with Thomas Jane should play Rick's brother. A good point, Rob K. So that would be awesome. That would be really cool. And for people who don't understand that comment, Thomas Jane plays in The Mist. And he's in that movie with Andrea, Carol, Morales, Tank Walker, Dale. Like all these people in the Walking Dead universe are in that movie. And Frank Darabont was the producer, just heavily involved, whatever he actually was, heavily involved with The Mist. So Frank Darabont was the original showrunner for the first season and half of the second season. And he gave the job to Thomas Jane, but Thomas Jane actually turned it down to go film a series on HBO called Hung. And had 2 seasons or whatever, and no one even cares about that show. The Walking Dead became one of the biggest shows ever. I don't know if the show is as successful as with Thomas Jane versus Andrew Lincoln, because Andrew Lincoln is just a person that cares about the Rick Grimes, cares about the show, cares about the production. There's all these stories about him meeting with new cast members, bringing them in, saying hello, being polite, just being like a good leader. And it's awesome. And I don't know if it becomes the same family, the same production, the same amazing things or not with Thomas Jane. But if Thomas Jane was still included in that way, some way, shape, or form, that'd be pretty awesome. And I think that would be a nice callback too if he was a Grimes, just not Rick Grimes. So it would be kind of interesting. So that would be kind of cool. Like, I have my little takes on how I would write it. Yeah, I don't know if Negan has a brother. I don't know. Maybe. Sure. So are we going to have Negan has a brother? Maggie has some other cousin that's out there. Daryl has some other family. Like are we going to get crazy with all this stuff too? So after a while, it's just laughable. Like, Fear the Walking Dead was just laughable. World Beyond was just like, what is this show? Tales of the Walking Dead was overall laughable. And the only shows that matter for the continuity of things are The Walking Dead, obviously, The Ones Who Live, Dead City, somewhat, because it's main characters from there, and then also the Daryl Dixon show, too. So, James asked, do you think we will get Austin Emilio in Dead City? I hope so. I would love to see Austin Emilio, who plays Dwight, in Dead City. And I've said this time and time again. So that's why I'm going to be on the lookout for any people being filmed that are, like, we know that we're going to have new cast members on Dead City. We know that Kim Coates is going to be a person of, in the city, like a gang leader or something too. We know that the Bricks is a part of the New Babylon community now because we saw a sign for it. We know that we saw the same actor who plays Pearlie Armstrong. He's there. We know that Maggie is there. We know that Negan is there. And I think we see some people saw Ginny, the girl that doesn't talk, which was kind of annoying. But we'll have to see what the second season unfolds to and which Resident Evil game they're going to take from. No, I'm just kidding. There's just that one episode with Maggie who looks a lot like Jill Valentine. So it's definitely something that I want to see other connections. I think a lot of people want to see the continuity, the connections, the callbacks, just the reunions. We don't need to reinvent the wheel with the Walking Dead universe. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to do some crazy outlandish things. Don't try to just do some nonsense. What worked, in my opinion, with The Walking Dead was that it was more on the realistic of fiction, but realistic point of the science fiction. And it works because it is one of those things where this is what would happen potentially. Now that we have the variant walkers that we didn't see anywhere in The Ones Who Live, okay, we didn't see anything. It's like the walkers are just filler. Now the nonsense with variants and burners and this and that, it's like we're going to just touch this up a little bit. Do this. It's just kind of crazy. So what else are they going to throw at us? I don't know. But ultimately, it's entertaining. It's a form of entertainment, and we watch it, and we love it, and we move on from it. But, there's other shows. I know Rebel Moon Part 2 comes out on Friday, and I'm going to watch it, but the first part, I didn't really like it very much. It was just kind of like, what am I watching? None of these characters mean anything to me. We're dealing with this farmland. It just was dumb. It was trying to be like Star Wars, but not nearly as good. And it's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I don't know. But I'm going to watch it, and I got to see how it ends. It's just one of those things, too, where you're like, I'm invested enough, and I'll just watch the second part to see. It's not like I need to watch, 6 seasons of a show. That's a little bit much. But, I can watch a movie and just see how it ends. Because, again, I don't know about you, but once I start something, I want to finish it and move on and see how it goes. Unless it's, totally nonsense. Where, there's been some series where I watch the show and I'm like, this show sucks. Nope, enough of that. But it's not, I would assume there's a lot of good writers all over all these streaming services, right? Because we need characters that we care about. We need stuff that we care about. We need story. We need problems. We need solutions. We need new problems, more solutions, new characters. It's just not that hard. I don't think it's that hard to have stuff that we care about, too. And now, it's 2024. Shows have been around for a long time. Sitcoms have been around for a long time. What is, been there, done that? It's tough. It's tough to replicate there, too. That's why they're doing remakes or reboots or whatever, And you're like, I definitely want to see, just more and more things. I want to see, the God of War show. And I want to see stuff that is awesome, too. So, Dragon says, hello, estate taxes suck. So hopefully you guys have your taxes done. Tomorrow is tax day, April 15th. Hopefully you have your taxes done. You're getting a return or a refund. and you're getting stuff back to you. You don't have to pay. Hopefully you're going to be all right, but definitely get those taxes done too. So, Lady Hotep, did I say anything about Fallout? So I said something at the beginning of the stream, but I watched the first episode. So let's talk about Fallout a little bit, and don't say anything spoilerous, because I know it's a video game. I've never played the video game. I know that it's a post-apocalyptic world. I watched the first episode on Amazon Prime, and it definitely is interesting. I want to see where it goes. I want to see what's up with Lucy and Maximus and the ghoul. But hopefully they answer some stuff, because they set up questions in the first episode, which is good. That's good storytelling. That's good writing. That's good stuff. But ultimately, I think that you have to, draw us in. Because, the first 5 minutes of the show draw you in. Right? Like The Walking Dead has one of the best opening sequences to draw you in. Shows need to draw you in. You can draw people in or push people away in the first 5 minutes. And Fallout drew me in, especially in the first episode with the stuff in the bunkers and all this. And so it just works, and they have the time jump and stuff, and hopefully, it jumped around a little bit with the characters, but I just hope it makes sense too. So Jack asks, Q&A, do you think Daryl will see Maggie and Negan again? I don't know. I don't really care if Daryl sees either of them again. I want to see Daryl to see Rick. I need to see Rick Grimes, Daryl Dixon, Carol, everybody reunited. So if Rick and Michonne got the happy ending where they met RJ and Judith and they came back to the Commonwealth or Alexandria or wherever they were going, it wasn't really explained to me that well where they were going to meet them. But we saw that was the happy ending and they were done. And we need to have that with Daryl. And I think Daryl is going to have his ups and downs and big moments like he always does. He's going to get injured. He's going to be bleeding. He's going to get scars. He's going to get wounded. He's going to, all those things, right? That's just what happens. But at the end of the day, Daryl is going to be the last man standing. He's going to be with Carol, helping out, doing something, getting away. And, they're going to get stuff done. And then they got to come home. Excuse me. So hopefully, I know there's going to be 3 seasons was the word a while ago. It was supposed to be the Daryl and Carol show, and it was rumored to be 3 seasons. So 2 seasons are done, and the speculation is that Daryl is going to have a 3rd season. It's going to start filming in June, and it's going to be in Spain. So is Carol going to be there? Is Dog going to be there? Are they going to get home? Are they going to come back and meet Rick and Michonne? Is it going to be a happy ending? Is it going to be more of those things? Are they going to set up another show, another spinoff, another series? Or is that going to be it? Because I don't know about any other characters, but I feel like Daryl, Norman Reedus, still wants to play Daryl Dixon for as long as he can. And I don't know about the ratings and the viewers and the rankings and the ratings and all that crap, but Daryl is very important. I think Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Rick, and Negan are some of the most important characters left in the Walking Dead universe. If I never saw Maggie again, I'm okay with that. If I never saw some of the other characters, I'm okay with that. I don't need to see Eugene. I don't need to see any of that stuff again. But I would love to see Mercer. I would love to see, just people from the Commonwealth. Ezekiel from time to time. Father Gabriel was kind of cool. Aaron. I would like to see people here and there. Morgan. I want to see Morgan again just for the, the character could be done. And so, at the end of it, I would love to see Morgan, Rick, Michonne. They're waiting there. They open the gates for Daryl and Carol. Finn, done. No more story. None of this crap. None of these characters. Unless they're going to do the next generation with the kids. And you have old man Daryl telling the kids to be careful and training them and working with them and helping them and just doing whatever for the aspects of survival. But, we'll have to see what they want to do. Jack asks, do you think Dwight and Sherry will go to Dead City? I've said that a while ago. I would like to see that. So it's like amazing how all this stuff is coming up around now, and it's still questions that people have. And I've said before that I want to see Dwight and Sherry involved with the Negan aspect of that show, and I want to see reunions. And I would love to have seen a huge major battle with the CRM, but the CRM is done. Unless there's another group like Major General Beale's son and whatever else they're going to do. I don't know. Jonathan Wilder, did you hear? Yes, I know OJ died on Thursday, Friday? I don't know, earlier this week. And yeah, that's a complicated story for a lot of people on there too, but OJ has passed away. Yeah, Rob K says Kaylee Fleming is in an upcoming film called If with Ryan Reynolds, and I hope her film career takes off. I hope so too. Like if Kaylee never acted again, she's already a pretty big actress. Right? Or no? So she's in 3 major franchises. She's in Star Wars as young Rey. She's in Loki as young Loki, and she's in The Walking Dead. Plus, she's in a movie called Peppermint. She's in other stuff. Like, she's in other things. And I hope she has a great life because she's a child actress. She's a very sweet person. I had to meet her on one of the Walker Stalker cruises. And I hope that she has a great, awesome life and she does well and she has a rewarding life that doesn't get burned out and hopefully just does well in whatever she wants to do. If she wants to keep acting or whatever she does, because she's just awesome. And so she's hopefully making good money. Hopefully her parents are taking care of her. And I think she just turned 17. So hopefully after a while she can start, building for her future with the money and everything and whatever she's doing. Because again, that's her money. I'm sure her mom's a probably manager or whatever too. But it's always annoying to me when parents see their kids as like, they're going to be a star. They're going to be this. They're living vicariously through their kids. And you always hear you did at least with Macaulay Culkin and other child actors, that the parents were so bad and it's annoying and stole from their kids, or allegedly, that's what you hear. But it's terrible like that too, if that was my child or anybody's child that you care about, you want to protect them. You want to make sure they're good. And yeah, you enjoy the money, you pay off stuff, but then you put money aside for them. You take a percentage of it and put it away, and then whatever it is, and yeah, you deserve something as taking them around, managing them, booking up, whatever it is. But not the bulk of the money. That's for the kid. That's ridiculous too. So it's definitely something that I hope that all the actors, after watching Quiet on Set on HBO Max, it's just God, that's gross. Just what some of these kids had to endure. And what happened to the other kids that probably didn't say anything or weren't allowed to say anything or whatever, there's probably other kids out there that it happened to, just because we know about the story of the other actors, but it's it's a shame. Yeah, and I never want to hear bad, because, at the end of the day, I want people to be happy and fulfilled and excited and just do good things in life. There's just, right now there's too much competition in the world where everybody's I got to get mine. I don't care about you. I see it every and day-to-day stuff, shopping at a supermarket or something. And it's just wow, people could care less about you. They will walk over you to get a thing of eggs and they just keep pushing their cart. They won't help people up, or they won't say it's sorry or apologize or whatever, people of all ages, and some people do, because hopefully it's not, all society is terrible, but it's just enough people that are just out for themselves. So, yeah, Sun Bear, I'm watching Fallout series. I watched the first episode so far, and we'll definitely probably watch the second one today. I'm a 1 episode a day guy. I like to stretch it out. When I watch a show, I'm not going to binge watch it because, okay, so say it's 6 or 8 episodes. And, there at least some of them were like the first one was like over an hour, and then it's an hour, and then 40 minutes, and 48 minutes, and 45 minutes, or whatever some of the episodes where I looked. And next thing you know, you watched all 8 episodes in a weekend, and then you're done. And you're like, now what? It's always now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? And growing up in the 80s and 90s, man, it makes me value all the stuff that we have here, because if you had to watch shows on a weekly basis where they put up 1 episode a week when we were watching it, and you couldn't record it, you couldn't watch it at your leisure, you had to get in front of the TV at 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 9 or 9:30 or whatever, and then you had to watch it, or you tape it. You put a tape in and you record it, kind of thing. But you had to do that. That was must-see TV. Now, I don't even watch shows when it comes on television. I watch it on demand. I watch the roll-offs, Little People, Big World, on like Wednesdays or whatever. I don't watch it on Tuesday night because you can, which is amazing. And I value that, and I cherish that, and it's awesome, right? But people nowadays take it for granted. They definitely see it as, wow, I'm going to watch this because I can. Everything's there. And then you watch it and you get everything and you move on, and you get everything and you move on, and you get everything and you move on. You don't value it. You don't see how it is on there too. And that's part of every generation has hopefully benefits and good things on there too. But eventually we're going to have instant gratification. And if someone had to wait a little bit, I can't handle it because I get everything when I want it. And that's great. And then I do this and then I break down and I have that. And you're like, relax, like don't have such a breakdown with stuff that doesn't matter. Like TV shows, they don't really matter. They're just entertainment. There's bigger things in people's lives that matter. Right? Like if you had a health diagnosis that changes your life, whatever it is, whether it's, some congenital thing or cancer or, surgery or whatever it is, life-changing, life-altering something, that's what matters to you. Now you have an escape when you watch a TV show and a movie, which is needed. And that's what it is. It's an escape. Video games are an escape. YouTube is an escape from that. It's great and they're needed. It's entertainment. We need that. We need a break from, the crazy, sad, dull, boring, upsetting world or whatever it is, the negative stuff that we have in life. It's an escape and it's great. But it's just one of those things where it's a tricky thing because you don't have to be around people ever anymore. Which is good and bad. Like, trust me, I love some of the creature comforts. I love getting delivery from Uber Eats or whatever through. Like, I don't actually go through Uber Eats. It's through the company, the delivery from a restaurant that use Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever. And it's great. It's amazing. Before, it was just getting like Chinese food or pizza delivery. You weren't getting like Taco Bell delivered and all that nonsense. You just go get it. Go pick it up. But now you don't have to leave. You can have a remote job. You can play video games from your house. You don't even have to go to the video game store to get stuff. You can get it delivered or digital on there too, which is great. But then we don't know how to act with people. Like we don't know how to interact with people. It's weird. It's just a weird thing that I've seen because, being a physical therapist, I see so many people of different generations. Predominantly it's retirees because I live in Florida and work in Florida and I'm a physical therapist. So that's usually who needs, I should really do like an average age of my patients. It's probably 70 or in their 70s, right? Because I have people 60s, 70s, 80s. I have a person who's 91 and they drive and they do all this stuff too, right? And you get to see the viewpoints of people that are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And also I have people that are in their teens. and they're in their 20s and they're in this. And like, you just see the way people are talkative or not. And it's personalities ultimately at the end of the day, but you see how people are. And you see the socialness is kind of a problem with this younger generation. And we need to have a blend of both. Like, care about people, be involved with people, but also use technology to help us and aid us in that too. Use our tools to be successful, you know? So hopefully you guys, if any of you guys have checked out my book series, Fight for Us, the first series is all done. It's 20 books. And I'm getting more and more ideas for a second series. And, you know, eventually when I can devote some time, I'll start writing probably the new book series. And it's definitely going to be something where continues the story, but, you know, different stuff will be going around. I don't want to say anything, you know, about that if you haven't read the series, but it'll continue stuff. Like, I've always wanted to continue stuff, because you know how I feel about movies. I don't want remakes and reboots. I want sequels. I want a continuation of stuff. Don't try to reinvent stuff. Bring in stuff. Answer some questions. Adapt, or you know, bring in other stuff that feels familiar to people there too. So it's definitely something that I want to have that way to continue going on, you know, because it's stuff that makes sense to me, is to be rewarding, is to continue the story of the main characters that are still around, you know. What are some of these questions? Let me see. Jack Q&A, have you seen the Rush Hour trilogy? I have. I like Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker's. They're very good. I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. I like martial arts, so, you know, I like Jackie Chan, of course, and he's an amazing actor and stuntman, who's an actor, does doing all the stunt too. So, Rob K says, I miss Blockbuster Video. I love streaming options, but going to Blockbuster was an event as a kid. Yeah, like, if they could ever find a way, because like malls to me are like a dying thing. You don't have to go to stores. You don't have to go to stores. You don't have to do things there too. But there has to be a reason for it. Like, why would I go to the movies if I can just wait 6 weeks and then it's at home? Why would I go to the movie theater? Why would I not buy something online when I don't have to go to the store, find parking, deal with morons in shopping carts, blocking aisles, just like deal with all that crap, right? People leaving their shopping carts in the way, and it's just annoying, just over annoying. I just get it delivered. Why would I mess with that, right? Why would I go do anything there? Why would I go do anything that I don't need to? And, you know, for some things I'll get delivered, and other things I have to go pick it out. But it's definitely something I just have to work. Let me see, Phantom Deluxe. Where were you at? Let me see where your last comment is. Phantom Deluxe, you should give a try to Death Note. It's a 37 episode. And 37 episodes! Man, get the crazy at it. 37 episodes. But again, I'm not really an anime guy, Phantom. You know, I'm just not. I don't know. It's just not for me. I just haven't really got into that world, and I know people love it. It's just not for me right now, for sure. Dragon Ball Radiant Q&A. Do you think Rick and Michonne will help Daryl? I don't think they'll help him. I think Daryl doesn't need help. Daryl is the help. No, I think Daryl and Carol, that'll be their main thing. But I want to see Daryl, Carol, Rick, and Michonne all reunited. Rob Rischel. Q&A, what could be the next big series genre? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I'm excited. I was thinking about it earlier today. I want to say June. I know it says summer, but I hopefully think it's in June that the Game of Thrones, the Targaryen show, I'm going to say the Dragon, House of the Dragon, season 2, hopefully is awesome, amazing. I'm excited for that. I don't know what else is it from. I don't know. I believe they're still filming from season 3. And I want to say they've been filming since January, maybe even December. And so that's coming up on like 3-4 months. And I don't know how much longer they have for filming, but they've been filming for a little bit. I believe they filmed in the city somewhere. And I don't know if the stuff that's going on there. If you haven't checked out From, definitely check out From. Once we get more information about that, and when that comes back, definitely going to be talking about that for sure. Jonathan Wilder, do you think the creator of the Simpsons show or time travelers, their prediction? They're not always. I mean, I don't think they're always right. I just think when you have enough episodes of the Simpsons, and you have enough predictions in each episode or every season or everything, you're going to get some things right. Should be. If I predict 50 different things, like if I'm like, okay, my predictions. Carol and Daryl come home and they meet Rick and Michonne. Prediction. Carol and Daryl finish with 3 seasons. Prediction. Carol and Daryl finish with 4 seasons. Carol and Daryl this. Dwight and Sherry go to Dead City. Dwight goes to Dead City. If I have a million different predictions, hopefully I get some of them right. I don't know what the percentage would be, but if you just saturate with a million predictions, like Morgan will be seen again, my prediction. I will see this character. They were going to do another spin-off show, prediction, of the Walking Dead universe, prediction. It's just like, I don't know if a million things are going to happen, but it just makes sense for sure. But, there's shows that come around every so many years, right? Like, I started watching TV in the 80s because I'm an 80s kid, but there were shows that were iconic, that were, revolutionary shows, I guess, for in the 80s and then the 90s, and then the 2000s and everything that's there too. There's a lot of shows. There's a lot of streaming stuff. There's a lot of different stuff. Like, if you just think of it, off the top of my head, you have Amazon, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Apple. You have, what else we got? Disney. So that's 5. Plus regular cable. All those networks and all that stuff there too. So like 6 things. At least. And I probably missed a couple. But that's 6 major things that you can have shows on. You see Tubi, Shudder. So what else you guys got? Let me know. But there's a lot of Paramount Plus, like HBO Max. What am I talking about? Stars, Showtime, Cinema, whatever. There's a million things, like all these things, right? And there's a lot of shows that you want to have for that stuff. You got to have content. You got Peacock. Hey, here we go, man. Like, look at all that. How that was. Over 10. And 10 plus shows, networks, streaming services, whatever. Freebie. See, look at keep going, right? That's a lot of different shows and stuff that could be out there. And there's got to be something out there that's like revolutionary for ESPN. All those different things that could be out there, that like MGM Plus, YouTube, that all those things could be out there for the movies, whatever. But you take a look at all those things that are out there, and there's got to be some shows that are out there for it. Back in the day, it was CBS, ABC, Fox, and NBC. And you had the 4 major networks. And now you have the 4 major networks that branch off into their own thing. FX and Bravo and E and all and whatever, A&E and all this other stuff. Paramount, whatever. And then you got the streaming services. So I don't know, John. That's where you went with that, huh, John? But the things are that you can put different good shows out there. So you have the Reachers and Stranger Things and whatever other shows that are out there that we're waiting for, that are big time. And it's great because something else is going to come along, that TV is not the stigma that it was. Before, you didn't want to write for TV. That's what they said. Sitcoms? No. You want to write for the movies. But now, TV, you can really dig deep into character development, story development. Like, it's crazy to think that a zombie show has 11 seasons and a bunch of spin-offs. Where if you thought about that 20 years ago, that never would have been on TV. That would have been laughed out the gym, laughed out the place, laughed out the TV, laughed out the studio, laughed out the meeting. No way. And now, the success of comic book stuff, Marvel shows, Marvel Cinematic Universe, all that comic book stuff that was huge. Like, what's the next big thing? Like, comic book stuff that you don't even think about sometimes, too, are, of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, The Walking Dead, but Umbrella Academy was a comic. There's some other stuff that I can't even think about was a comic. Video game adaptations, like God of War, that should be amazing. God of War should be a new level of Game of Thrones style craziness, right? That's a huge thing. So it should be awesome. But, that could be the big thing. And The Walking Dead is a big part of that, too. That Breaking Bad, that was a huge thing, Those shows, Sopranos, all the shows that will probably never be able to be replicated or done. And like I don't want to have a Walking Dead show that's like starting with Rick Grimes and Shane and Lori and all this stuff on HBO. Like I would watch it probably, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to see that. We've already been there, done that, do there. I've seen that. We don't want to do that. I don't want to see that again. AMC did a really good job with it overall. Some seasons better than others, but overall it was really good. John, what if Negan and the Saviors won the war? Then, then they would have been in trouble. Then Rick and co would have been in trouble, and I don't know what it would have been like. It would have been not a good thing for Rick, because we were following Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes was our guy. There's a lot of what ifs, like what if Shane survived, and what if we followed Negan instead of Rick, and what about this, And I love the idea of what if stuff, but I saw a picture also, or pictures of Daredevil Reborn, I think is the show, and that is looking great. John Bernthal is the Punisher. Charlie Cox, I think his name. He's back as Daredevil, and we have the original Foggy and the girl lawyers. That should be awesome. I'm excited for that. And so there's a lot of stuff to be coming out too. And I'm looking forward to Joker too. I think that should be good. So, it's definitely something that I saw. And the other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys is that I think they're making a biopic movie of Chris Farley with the guy who, Josh Gad, who's the voice of Olaf. I think he's making the movie, and Paul Walter Hauser is going to be Chris Farley. And Paul Walter Hauser was in a bunch of different things, and he's a really good actor. But to be Chris Farley, that's tough. It's like someone trying to be Robin Williams. That's really tough. Like, Chris Farley, to me, was one of the funniest people in the world, I don't know how you can pull that off. And hopefully they can. And I'm going to watch it for sure, because I love Chris Farley. And, but that's what I heard on the radio. And also the other thing I'd say it last time too, is that they're making a Mufasa movie, a live action Mufasa Lion King movie. I don't know. We're making Moana 2 and Mufasa. And because there's like CinemaCon or something. I actually like the Punisher. The best Punisher I liked was actually in Daredevil. I think season 2 of Daredevil, when the Punisher, it's just so awesome. Gritty and tough and mean and just, I don't know, I guess realistic, you know. But there you go, guys. That's my time. The hour goes by quick. So the Masters, the final day of the Masters is today. Hopefully you'll watch it, check it out. My guy Colin Morikawa, I'm a big fan of him. I like Scotty Scheffler too. I'll be happy with either one, Scotty or Colin Morikawa winning. But I want to finish it with this question. The big thing was that Scotty Scheffler is a golfer. His wife was pregnant. And his wife was going to potentially give birth during the Masters, and he said that he would leave if she was giving birth at the hospital. And so I think they did a poll on one of the sports radio talk shows around here, and they said like 67% agree with Scotty that they would leave as well. And I think I would leave too. Like if my wife was in the hospital about to give birth, like I wouldn't want to miss that. I can always play in the Masters. Like Scotty Scheffler, he's already won a green jacket. He can always go back and play, but you can't always miss. You would miss the birth of your child. You can't always replicate that. But ultimately, guys, thank you for taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate you guys. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals no matter what they are. Keep working hard. Enjoy the shows and the movies that you're watching tonight. I'll be back next Sunday, and I'll probably be doing a live stream for the rest of April. So we got next week and there too, and then I may take a break or not. But hopefully we'll have some stuff to make videos on with Dead City filming now, and any news about the Daryl Dixon show, maybe a trailer breakdown whenever we get that. But thank you guys. We truly appreciate all love and support. Stay safe, and I'll see you